3 noble sustenance to avert the grievous leg cramps in the elderly, fortifying and enriching their muscles. Dost thou tire of rousing in the dead of night, beset by the torment of leg cramps? Or dost thou grapple with the stiffness of thy muscles, rendering movement a formidable trial? Hark! Tidings of joy dost arrive. Lo, the proper fare doth soothe thy weary sinews, enhance the flow of life's essence, and thwart the onset of painful contractions ere they commence. In this day's discourse, we dost unveil the 3 foremost superfoods that aid our venerable seniors in banishing cramps, fortifying their muscles, and preserving their graceful mobility. Pray tarry a while, for thou wouldst not wish to forego these transformative counsel on nourishment. Pray, before we embark upon our discourse, I would fain know from whence thou dost join me this day. Pray, leave thy thoughts below, and do not hesitate to inquire of any queries that dwell within thy mind. And forget not to press upon that subscribe button and awaken the notifications, that thou mayest never miss a boon to thy health from Health 365. Pray, let us commence our discourse upon the humble egg. Amidst the bounty of nature's fare that doth nourish the sinews of strength, the humble egg doth shine forth as a veritable treasure of vital elixirs and minerals most essential. Pray tell, how does the humble egg assist in alleviating the vexing leg cramps that oft afflict our elder kin? Let us embark upon a journey of discovery, hand in hand. Oft doth muscle fatigue be the foremost harbinger of cramps, whilst protein, that noble sustenance, is vital for the mending and upkeep of our sinews. In the twilight of life, the venerable seniors dost oft encounter the cruel hand of time, manifesting as the waning of their once mighty muscles, a plight known as sarcopenia, which doth render them more prone to the vexations of cramps and the frailty of weakness. Lo, the humble egg, a veritable treasure of sustenance, dost provide a full measure of protein, encompassing within its fragile shell all 9 essential amino acids, as if nature herself hath crafted it with care. A solitary egg of grand size doth bestow upon thee 6 grams of noble protein, which doth aid in the restoration of muscle fibers and the alleviation of fatigue therein, whilst enhancing the efficiency of muscles contraction, thus diminishing the frequency of cramps. To incorporate eggs within thy diet doth bolster the strength of thy muscles and the endurance thereof, whilst diminishing the chance of grievous cramps that may afflict thee. How doth the vitamin D within eggs lend its aid to the absorption of calcium and the fortitude of muscle function? Verily, vitamin D doth play a most vital role in the absorption of calcium and the contraction of muscles. In absence of ample vitamin D, one may find themselves beset by weakness of muscle, the pangs of cramp, and even the relentless grip of chronic pain. Studies reveal that those of advanced years, lacking in the vital essence of vitamin D, do suffer from leg cramps with greater frequency and intensity. Yonder, the golden yolks of eggs dost harbor within them the precious vitamin D, a boon to the strength of bone and sinew alike. Though the golden rays of the sun dost provide the finest means to conjure vitamin D, many a seasoned soul doth linger less in the embrace of the great outdoors, rendering the sustenance of their diet most essential. Partaking of eggs doth aid the elder folk in preserving their noble levels of vitamin D, thereby lessening the peril of cramping afflictions. Doth the regular consumption of eggs serve to thwart the muscle cramps that arise from a deficiency of vitamin D? Verily, yet the sustenance alone may not suffice. In yonder egg doth lie a measure of 40 IU of the noble vitamin D, whilst the wise counsel for our elder kin doth suggest a daily bounty of 800 to 1,000 IU. To augment the intake of vitamin D, the elder folk may combine eggs with fortified dairy delights, such as milk and yogurt, or partake of the bounteous fatty fish, like salmon and sardines. Pray, take heed of a vitamin D elixir should thy levels dwindle low. Partake in the embrace of the great outdoors, whereupon the sun doth bestow its golden rays, granting the gift of nature's own vitamin D. Though eggs doth lend their virtue to the intake of vitamin D, the union with other sources doth assure a more robust health of muscle and bone, thus diminishing the episodes of cramp. Lo, Vitamin B12 doth play a most direct part in the workings of the nerves. When levels dost dwindle, the signals of the nerves dost falter, giving rise to spasms of the muscles, tingling sensations, and cramping discomfort. Eggs dost aid in the safeguarding of nerve health, for they dost provide B12 and choline, which do conspire in harmony. Foster the guardianship of nerve's delicate embrace, the myelin sheath's noble protection. Enhance the discourse twixt sinews and nerves, that harmonious dance of contraction and repose may flow with grace. Guard against the vexing cramps of neuropathy, oft encountered by those afflicted with diabetes and the venerable aged. Partaking in the humble egg with regularity doth fortify the very essence of our nerves, aiding in the diminishment of errant signals that give rise to the torment of muscle cramps. Do elder folk find themselves more susceptible to the pangs of muscle cramps when their B12 levels dwindle? And in what manner might the humble egg lend its aid? Indeed, the elder folk find themselves more susceptible to the deficiency of B12, for the waning of gastric acid doth hinder the absorption of this vital nutrient. Common potions, such as metformin, or those for the vexing flames of acid reflux, that do diminish the levels of the noble B12. Reduced consumption of fleshly fare, compelled by the bounds of dietary decree. Deficiency of B12 may bring forth frequent cramps of muscle and a weakness most dire. Injury to the nerves, giving rise to a burning fire, a numbing chill, or a tingling whisper upon the skin. Anemia, that cruel thief, doth diminish the flow of life's breath to the sinews of our strength. Eggs, a boon for the aged, dost provide a bounteous source of B12, easily consumed, and a most straightforward remedy to stave off the cramping pangs of deficiency. Though flesh of beast, the finned denizens of the deep, and the creamy bounty of the cow dost provide ample stores of B12, the humble egg doth present a leaner substitute for the sanguine fare of the crimson-hued meat. Enhanced ease of digestion for those of advanced years, whose digestive faculties may falter. A bounteous blend of protein and vitamins, not solely confined to B12, for those who partake of dairy yet shun the flesh of creatures and the bounty of their eggs. The humble egg doth serve as a most excellent means to uphold the noble levels of B12. What number of eggs per week ought the elder folk to partake, to bolster their sinews' strength whilst keeping at bay the worries of elevated cholesterol? Research doth now affirm that a moderate indulgence in eggs, 6 to 7 per week, is deemed safe for the majority, and doth not greatly affect the levels of cholesterol in the healthy elders. For those beset by ailments of the heart or burdened with high cholesterol, it is wise to seek the counsel of a learned physician. Yet, to supplant processed meats with the humble egg may still prove a boon for the well-being of the heart. Dost thou inquire if eggs may alleviate the afflictions of nocturnal leg cramps in the elder folk? Verily, the afflictions of leg cramps in the night do oft arise from the inadequacies of muscle restoration, the discord of electrolytes, and the malady of nerve disarray. Forsooth, as eggs dost grant the body protein, aid in the mending of sinews, bestow B12 for the safeguarding of nerves, and deliver vitamin D and calcium for the strength of muscles. Partaking of these orbs in the evening repast, or at dawn's light, may serve to harmonize the body's sustenance and bolster the restoration of weary muscles through the night, thus alleviating the torment of nocturnal cramps. Some aged souls may find it prudent to temper their consumption of eggs, guided by the dictates of their health's condition. Those of advanced years, beset by the affliction of kidney disease, might find it prudent to curtail their consumption of protein. Seek the counsel of a physician. For those burdened with elevated cholesterol, the consumption of egg whites may serve as a worthy substitute for the whole egg. Those who bear the burden of diabetes ought to unite eggs with the bounteous gifts of fiber-laden fare, verdant vegetables, and wholesome grains, that they may better govern the tides of their blood's sweet essence. For many a seasoned soul, the humble egg doth serve as a most advantageous sustenance, fostering strength of muscle, the vitality of nerve, and the well-being of the whole being. To reap the utmost rewards, the elder folk ought to partake of eggs with regularity, 6 to 7 times within the span of a week. Combine thine eggs with other foods rich in nourishment, such as verdant leaves, creamy dairy, and wholesome nuts. Quench thy thirst and keep thy humors in harmonious balance. For those of advanced years seeking to alleviate the torment of muscle cramps by nature's gentle hand, the humble egg doth present itself as a most straightforward and efficacious addition to their repast. Thus, when next thou dost prepare thy morning repast, ponder well the addition of an egg upon thy plate. 'Tis among the finest selections for the well-being of thy muscles. Secondly, lo, the noble potassium found within yon banana doth serve as a vital mineral, essential for the contractions of muscle, the signaling of nerves, and the balance of fluids most divine. When the levels of potassium dost fall too low, a condition known as hypokalemia doth arise, causing the muscles to become more susceptible to spasms and cramps most distressing. Lo, the humble banana doth stand as a most splendid source of potassium, a treasure bestowed by nature herself. Lo, a single medium banana doth bear within its form some 420 milligrams, a measure that accounts for 12% of the daily allowance deemed fit for consumption. By the steadfast maintenance of potassium's noble levels, the humble banana doth aid in the regulation of muscles' contractions, warding off the specter of spasms. It ensures the smooth communion of nerves for the mastery of muscle control, whilst balancing the fluidic levels, thus diminishing the cramps that arise from the cruel hand of dehydration. For those of advanced years, partaking of 1 or 2 bananas each day may greatly diminish the occurrence of muscle cramps. What doth occur when potassium levels dost fall too low, and how doth it lend its hand to the affliction of muscle cramps? Potassium doth aid in the conveyance of electric whispers twixt the sinews and the muscles. When the levels of potassium dost decline, the muscles dost become most excitable, thus leading to frequent cramping, most vexing. When the signals of the nerves do falter, the peril of unwilled muscle convulsions doth rise. Cells doth forfeit their power to maintain the harmony of fluids, leading to the rigidity of muscles. It hath been observed that the elder folk doth face a greater peril of potassium deficiency, wrought by diminished appetite or meager sustenance, the effects of medicaments, such as diuretics for the regulation of blood pressure, and the trials of excessive sweating or dehydration. Yet, by embracing the humble banana within their repast, the seniors may restore their potassium levels and uphold the normal function of their muscles. Verily, magnesium doth stand as a vital mineral, essential for the ease of muscles and the proper function of nerves. It doth aid in the reduction of muscle excitability, thus preventing sudden cramps. It doth support the production of ATP, bestowing energy for the contractions of muscle. It doth regulate the balance of calcium and potassium, which are essential for the proper function of muscle. Each banana doth bear within its form 32 milligrams of magnesium, a boon that aids in the prevention of muscle tightness and the vexing spasms that may ensue. Forsooth, as many an elder doth lack sufficient magnesium, partaking of bananas alongside other fare rich in this noble mineral, such as nuts and verdant greens, may serve to alleviate the pangs of muscle cramping and enhance the art of recovery. Lo, the vexing nocturnal cramps, those cruel torments that assail the limbs in the stillness of night, oft arise from imbalances of the vital electrolytes, a deficiency in potassium and magnesium, or the wretched state of poor circulation and dehydration. Yet, behold, the humble banana, rich in potassium and magnesium, and bearing the sweet sustenance of hydration, may serve as a remedy. Partake of this fruit an hour or two ere thy slumber, and perchance thou shalt find relief. With muscles at ease, the grip of cramp doth lessen, as balance of electrolytes doth ward off the specter of nocturnal spasms, thus fostering the quality of slumber by easing the tension of sinew. What role doth vitamin B6, found within yon bananas, play in the realm of nerve function and the restoration of weary muscles? Verily, vitamin B6 doth serve as a vital sustenance for the well-being of the nervous system. It doth aid in the regulation of neurotransmitters, those unseen messengers that govern the movements of our muscles. Alleviate the fiery tempest of inflammation, thus aiding the sinews in their swifter return to vigor post-exertion. Enhance the generation of crimson vessels, that the sinews may draw forth the breath of life with utmost efficiency. Each banana doth bestow upon us 0.4 milligrams of vitamin B6, a measure that approacheth nearly 30% of the daily need for our esteemed elders. Studies reveal that diminished levels of vitamin B6 may give rise to heightened muscle cramping and spasms, a consequence of nerve dysfunction's cruel hand. Low. The rising tides of inflammation dost render muscles more susceptible to the pangs of pain and the shackles of stiffness. Decreased vigor in creation of energy, thus giving rise to weariness of the muscles. A study conducted in the year of our Lord 2018 did reveal that those of advanced years who partook in scant amounts of vitamin B6 did suffer more oft from the affliction of leg cramps. Forsooth, as bananas dost bestow a bounteous supply of vitamin B6, they serve to ward off troubles of the muscles, those that are entwined with the nerves. Bananas dost aid in the restoration of potassium and magnesium levels, thus alleviating the cramps that befall from imbalances of the electrolytes. Bestow upon thee the sweetness of nature and the life-giving essence of water, fostering the art of hydration. Maintain the equilibrium of sodium, for it is of utmost import in the dance of muscles contraction and gentle relaxation. For those of advanced years, the quenching of thirst and the partaking of sustenance rich in electrolytes, such as the humble banana, doth aid in the harmonious functioning of their sinews. Though bananas dost aid in the quenching of thirst, they ought to be accompanied by a sufficient draught of water. If muscle cramps arise from the parched state of the body, then quenching one's thirst with ample water is as vital as partaking of the humble banana. To attain the finest of outcomes, partake in no less than 6 to 8 chalices of water each day. Partake of bananas with water or the nectar of the coconut, which doth also bear the essence of electrolytes. By preserving the delicate equilibrium of both fluid and electrolyte, the elder folk may avert the torment of muscle cramps wrought by the scourge of dehydration. What number of bananas ought the elder folk consume each day to aid in the prevention of leg cramps? The perfect measure doth vary, yet oft a single banana each day doth bestow sufficient potassium and magnesium to uphold the vigor of one's muscles. 2 bananas each day might serve well those who oft find themselves beset by troublesome muscle cramps. As the fruit of the sun doth bear sweet nectar, so too do bananas possess a bounty of natural sugars. Yet, for the wise elders who tread the path of diabetes, let them partake in moderation, and alongside the hearty grains and the noble nuts, to keep their blood-sweet tide from rising too high. For those of advanced years, oft beset by the torment of muscle cramps, partaking of a single banana each day, quenching one's thirst with ample hydration, and upholding a diet most balanced may greatly enhance the function of their muscles and diminish the frequency of such vexing afflictions. 3. Lo, the humble nuts and seeds, though oft overlooked, doth possess a might most potent. While the noble potassium and magnesium, found in fruits like the banana and verdant greens, are heralded for their prowess in warding off the cruel grip of cramps, these tiny treasures of nature stand ready to enhance the vigor of our muscles and stave off such afflictions with great efficacy. Rich in magnesium, potassium, and noble proteins, as well as wholesome fats, these humble nuts and seeds dost lend their aid to the relaxation of muscles, the flow of blood, and the balance of vital electrolytes. Let us embark upon a journey to discover how almonds, pumpkin seeds, cashews, and other noble nuts may fortify the muscles and banish the specter of cramps in our venerable seniors. Oft do the aged find themselves lacking in the vital mineral magnesium, rendering them susceptible to the torment of frequent and excruciating leg cramps. Lo, nuts and seeds, those humble treasures of nature, does provide a bounteous supply of magnesium, thus serving as a simple remedy to stave off the cruel grip of cramps. In yonder measure of 1 ounce, the seeds of pumpkin does contain 168 milligrams, fulfilling 40% of thy daily need. The noble almonds, in their grace, bear 77 milligrams, accounting for 20% of thy daily requirement. The cashews, too, present their bounty with 74 milligrams, meeting 19% of thy needs. Partaking of a modest handful of these nuts each day may aid in the restoration of magnesium levels, thus ensuring thy muscles remain relaxed and in good health. Though the humble banana doth oft bear the crown of potassium's grace, many a nut and seed dost also bestow this vital mineral upon the eager seeker. In yon measure of 1 ounce, behold the potassium content. Pistachios dost bear 290 milligrams, almonds 200, and cashews a humble 160. Forsooth, as sweat doth steal away vital electrolytes such as magnesium and potassium, it becometh imperative to restore these treasures for the sake of muscles' recovery and the prevention of cramps' cruel grasp. Lo, the virtues of nuts and seeds, a boon for the restoration of vital electrolytes, does shine forth. Rich in magnesium and potassium, they does support the weary muscles in their recovery. With healthy fats, they does quell the flames of inflammation that besiege the sinews. Moreover, they does provide protein, a noble aid in the repair of muscle. For the elder folk, who oft suffer cramps after their exertions, a handful of these treasures or the addition of seeds to their repast may restore the minerals lost and keep the muscles free from cramps' cruel grasp. In the realm of nature's bounty, the noble fats found within nuts and seeds do lend their aid to the coursing rivers of blood, ensuring that the sinews of our frame are nourished with ample oxygen and sustenance, thus enabling them to perform their sacred duties with grace and vigor. Lo, the noble omega-3 fatty acids, residing within the humble walnut and the flaxseed's embrace, do lessen the fiery inflammation of weary muscles. Lo, the monounsaturated fats, residing within the noble almonds and the valiant cashews, dost enhance the flow of blood, thus diminishing the peril of cramping woe. Alas, the wretched flow of blood may bring forth tormenting cramps in the limbs, particularly when the night doth fall. By partaking in the bounty of nuts with regularity, the elder folk may enhance the flow of their vital essence and diminish the afflictions of cramping that beset them. Doth the consumption of nuts and seeds aid in the diminishment of inflammation that doth contribute to the weariness and cramping of muscles? Verily, chronic inflammation doth wreak havoc upon the muscles' tender fabric, rendering the elder folk more susceptible to the pangs of cramping and the aches of soreness. Behold, the humble nuts and seeds, rich in antioxidants and compounds that quell inflammation's fiery grasp. They doth reduce the burdens of oxidative stress upon the sinews, hastening the recovery of weary muscles. They lend support to the enduring health of one's flesh, warding off the specter of frequent cramps. For the elder souls beset by chronic pain or the cruel grip of arthritis, the addition of walnuts, flax seeds, and almonds to their repast may bestow the gifts of nature's own anti-inflammatory grace. Though all nuts and seeds dost offer precious sustenance, certain among them art especially advantageous for the fortitude of muscle, owing to their abundant stores of magnesium, potassium, and protein. Best nuts and seeds for preventing leg cramps. Pumpkin seeds, highest in magnesium, 168 milligrams per ounce almonds. Great source of both magnesium and potassium pistachios, one of the best nuts for potassium, 290 milligrams per ounce. Cashews, high in magnesium and healthy fats for circulation walnuts, rich in omega-3s, which reduce muscle inflammation. For the best results, seniors should consume a variety of nuts and seeds to benefit from different muscle-supporting nutrients. What quantity of nuts and seeds ought the elder folk consume each day to ward off the affliction of leg cramps? Though nuts and seeds does bear great nourishment, they are also rich in calories. Thus doth the measure of portions hold great import. Recommended intake: a small handful, 1 ounce, of nuts per day, about 20 almonds or 2 tablespoons of seeds. Sprinkle seeds, flax seeds, chia, pumpkin seeds on meals for added benefits. Best times to eat nuts and seeds for muscle health. With meals, helps with nutrient absorption and electrolyte balance. Before bed, can reduce nighttime leg cramps by keeping muscles relaxed. After exercise, helps restore lost electrolytes and aids muscle recovery. By consuming nuts in moderation, seniors can prevent cramps while maintaining a balanced diet. While nuts and seeds offer many benefits, there are a few considerations. High calorie content. Overeating nuts can lead to weight gain, so portion control is important. Salted or processed nuts. High sodium content in salted nuts can contribute to dehydration, increasing cramp risk. Allergies. Some people may have nut allergies, so alternative sources of magnesium and potassium should be digestive issues. Nuts and seeds are fiber-rich, which may cause bloating or discomfort in seniors with sensitive digestion. Solution: choose unsalted, raw, or dry roasted nuts and eat in moderation to enjoy maximum muscle health benefits without side effects. For seniors looking to naturally reduce muscle cramps, eating a small handful of nuts or adding seeds to meals daily can be an easy and delicious way to support muscle health. If you found this video helpful, please remember to hit the like button. It really helps us bring you more valuable content. Drop a comment below and let us know your thoughts, questions, or what topic you'd like us to cover next. We love hearing from you, verily. Do press the subscribe button and activate the notifications, that thou mayest never miss our most recent counsel on health and wisdom. Remain enlightened, remain well, and